Mic check. Mic check. Artifact in the house. Art stream beginning. Hey, what's good, everybody? Music's a little loud. I'm gonna turn it down now. Hope you're all doing well. Hope you're all having a fantastic day today. See here. Yep, volume's good there. Hope you can hear everything all right. If the music's too loud, let me know. Say hi in the chat. Guys, I want to thank everybody who does come into here. It's not very much that I've been streaming lately. It's been a long time, and that's just because I've just been working on my artwork and trying to figure out what I'm going to do for the next steps of Artifact gaming and art. I'm definitely looking at getting back into a new gaming computer, and I've been looking at different options for that. And I'm really excited to say that we're very close to a position where I can actually get myself into a new computer. I'm probably going to make some payments on one and then have that up. And I want to do that before the spooky season arrives. So look for that to happen relatively quickly here as well. Right now we were streaming across multiple platforms, including YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Picarto. Although I think I might be kicking that out for maybe Kick or something along those lines. Maybe Pornhub. Who knows? Who knows? If you do tune into the chat, say hi in the chat. It would be really great while I'm working on this. I am currently working on a story that is near and dear to my heart. It's something that I came up with a long time ago, and I don't know. I just been slowly kind of putting it together, writing it, getting the concepts together, getting everything put together for it, and just in general, really excited about the way that it's going. So yeah, that's what's going down with me. I hope you guys are well. I'm just gonna get right into it. You want to say hi in the chat? That's awesome. If not, don't even worry about it. It's all good. I miss and love you guys, and it's been a million years since I've done anything. So let's get right into it. I'm gonna get my camera set up here for my art screen. We're gonna be working on a little portraiture because I'm really not that great at portraiture, and I have tried several times. I'm gonna show you all my fails leading up to this point, and we're gonna continue to keep failing. And what I mean by that, what I mean by continuing to keep failing, I mean simply that we're gonna continue to get better because practice is progress, right? It's not necessarily one thing or another. We're gonna try a different approach this time. I've got a full color picture of the person I'm trying to sketch out on, and then I'm gonna go do a black and white so I can get a value composition off of that, which is gonna be really subtle because this person's value like their composition is pretty washed out, I would say, because it's mostly overhead lighting. But we'll see how it goes. I'm gonna move it on right now. Hope you can hear me all right. I got my volume loud in my ears, so I'm gonna turn that down. I gotta get a new set of headphones too. The channels keep dropping out on the sides of this thing, so I can't really hear how loud it is. But anyway, we're gonna move it on here. Yep, Photoshop screen, move it on, get used to these things, move that. Okay, there we go. So this is my son Kyle. And obviously the story I've written includes these fictitious versions of my children, right? So I really wanted to get some whimsical stuff in there. And I thought to myself, in order to do that, I really needed to get some practice in drawing those guys, and I've done some stuff before with them. Some of them look okay, some of them don't really look okay, and I don't always expect it's going to look exactly like these guys, but it's going to be close approximations, or the closest approximations I possibly can. So if you want to see my previous attempts, here they are. Let me just get over to the program in question here, get it all full screened up for you, and then we're going to go ahead and talk about our previous versions and how they've all kind of just been okay, but not necessarily entirely perfect. And I'm looking for just a little bit better representation. Like, okay, so we've got a kid with the same kind of hairdo, but like you can see that it's a little bit squatter, a little bit shorter, and doesn't take up the same proportions. It's a rough approximation. We've got the freckles in there, but like he looks like a different kid. He looks like a different person, and I really need that whimsy. I really need to capture the essence of what I'm doing here. So that was the first attempt. Second attempt's coming right now. This was our second attempt. A little bit creepier, but a little bit different too. And I know this isn't as finished. That's just because I kind of stopped on it. But there were some things I liked about this and things I didn't like about that. So I just kind of, his nose is a little too long here, for instance, and this nose is a little bit more squat. So there's some proportional issues going on here. And again, I stopped when I realized that it wasn't really hitting what I wanted to do. And this one too. So like, you know, they're all attempts. They were all freehand attempts at what I was doing, and they just weren't hitting the way that I wanted them to. So I'm going to keep going. And so we're just going to continue to keep failing until we get it right, you know what I mean, until it feels right. So this attempt might not be good either, and we're just gonna keep going, and yeah, that's it. Let's see here. Make sure my pen's right. That looks good. It's on at 50%. Yep. Make sure I'm on the right layer. Guys, if the music is too loud or too quiet, let me know in the chat. We're gonna get going right now. So the first thing I'm doing, of course, is coming up with the guideline. Oh, I said I was going to do a black and white concept sketch on this one. So these ones have all been done in color just because I was just trying to draw straight off the photo. So I'm going to take my reference pick right here. Let's see, which one is my... There it is. I'm going to duplicate this layer. And then I'm just going to take it, and I'm going to go ahead, image, adjustment, desat. So now we have a value scale. So instead of an actual photo... we have a value scale that we can kind of work off of, which is what I'm going to be trying to do. You can see that all the shadows aren't necessarily what we want them to be. So what we're also going to do on this is we're also going to up some contrast. We're going to go ahead and darken just a little bit so we get like a different kind of color map. Like we can see the areas. So we're not washing things out with white or anything like that. And we're going to start with just some centerline sketching in color, and then the underpaint is going to be black and white. Then we're going to move on forward with that. Guys, thank you so much. I saw that a couple people dropped into the stream just looking at it. Thank you, everyone. Let's go. Let's go. Okay, so I'm on my sketchy layer. I've been using this layer for every single version of this this character sketch. And I kind of want to get a close approximation. Oop, that's not my brush. I want to get a closer approximation of my center line. I'm trying to draw with my shoulder, not my wrist, which is a big failing of a lot of people when they're drawing. So they draw with their wrist only, which gives you those short strokes, which initially you feel like there's a lot more control with those, right? And then when you draw your longer lines and those types of things, and I'm not drawing here, I'm just going to look in and I'm just going to try and approximate that too. Get some soft lines going. That is not right. See it right now, so try it again. That's looking a little bit better as far as eye line goes, so I'm going to use that. Again, I'm trying not to use my wrist in my sketches at all. And then I want to kind of look over here at his eye, and so this is like the old comic book technique. I want to kind of realize a couple of things. One, there's more space over here than there is over here, and that's because his head is slightly turned, right? So I need to take that into account while I'm doing this. And then I need to also take into account the fact that it's just a very slight turn of head or a slight turn of form, so it's not too far off center. So the head is still going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 eye lengths about across, but more to his right will be, or more to my right, will be seen of his head So for that reason, I'm just going to go ahead and go... Like, I almost feel like if I... let's just sketch out a rough eyes. See, and then if I come over here and sketch out rough eyes, see how it exceeds into the ear there? And there's just a little bit more on this side. So I need to keep that in mind. So I'm going to go ahead and do the same. And again, we're just trying to freehand it. And again, I don't expect that this is going to be perfect by any stretch of the imagination. But I do feel like I'm going to try to get as close to as possible. So I'm just trying to make some marks about like, okay, now the other side of his head is going to only be, I don't know, not even a full 2 eye lengths over from center, right? So like right here, now I know that his head cuts into that eye pretty like right there. So our head width at eye level is there. And then his, yeah, see we got, it's not gonna be perfect. And like I said, I am not a portraiture artist by trade. Like I started out in trying to do comic book style and cartooning, like that type of stuff. So I am just gonna be blocking in these shapes, trying to get those in as best I can without fucking it up too bad. I don't expect this to be perfect. I don't expect this to even be representative of the kiddo. I'm just gonna try and take as many measurements as I can on the way though. Hairline starts somewhere in there, and then off of eye center, his hairline kind of stops. Just gonna double check my measurements. I almost feel like it's a little bit taller, like right there. So if I go here, yeah, that's more accurate at least. And then it comes down like that. And then we need to get that mouth. I feel like the distance between the mouth is gonna be. So if I just take this, and I'm not tracing out, I'm just trying to get like rough equivocations of like, okay, so there's about an eye's distance between that and that. So I was just kind of trying to get that depth right there as well. And then we're going to try to get the marking there as well. And then if I look at his, I'm drawing with my wrist again. If I'm trying to get an idea though, that's a near perfect. So like from center eye, like somewhere in here, if his head's slightly tilted, I'm going to draw it at a slight tilt as well. So in general, his mouth won't extend past the center of his eye lines. So that's why I've got those lines right there. Again, I don't expect this necessarily to look like him in the end. I'm trying, but like I am not the best at all of these things. So I am working on it, but I'm not, in no way am I perfect at this. I've, like I said, I've tried four or five other times, or 3 other times, excuse me, 3 other times, and each version has come out looking frustratingly not the way that I want them to, and that's okay. Like, I need to be continuing the efforts, continue to make it look as good as I possibly can. Like I said, this time we're starting with a value scale. So if I draw, that was a pretty good, like I freehanded this line right here, but like I was just doing a test measure. It's a little short of where it needs to be if I'm drawing from like the bottom of his chin. So that gives me a general idea. Again, I'm really trying to measure as much as I possibly can here. And again, this is for my story Marbles, which I'm going to be just, that's my main thing that I'm focused on right now. I'm not super focused on gaming, super focused on anything else. This is the main focus of everything as well. So yeah, that's where we're at right now. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Thank you everybody who has dropped in. Looks like my steadfast guy, Cody Bice, is giving me some views on Twitch. I appreciate you boys over there. Okay. So I have the hairline top, we've got the head. And so if I'm looking at his like, okay, let's talk about like how his actual skull goes. I'm looking over here, just trying to get some practice line work in. I think that's kind of accurate, so it'll be kind of like right there. That's like where his actual skull would be, and then his hair is going to extend above that, and maybe even higher, because if I think about it, maybe not though. Like, let's just see. These lines are not going to be good either. They're just, like I said, sketchy lines. You got to remember that the head of the skull on this side is slightly shortened in comparison. And don't worry, we're going to clean this up as well, but because his head is slightly off angle, just barely, we need to make sure that we're taking that into account, and we're just going to get a rough head shape in here. It's not going to be perfect by any stretch of the imagination. It's still, for the most part, center on, but we need to... It's going to look like an alien for a while, too. Right now it doesn't look like anything, and that's okay. Now I'm going to keep this little line up here, but I'm going to try and erase as much of the bend of the skull as I'm trying to maintain the fact that his kind of hair kind of is poofed up. Kind of comes down. It's not quite so... So far, it's looking like an alien Christopher Walken, and that's, you know, we just keep chipping away at this until it starts to actually turn into something the way that we want it. Once we get the guidelines in there and all that other fun stuff, we can adjust everything. You'll see me skipping around a lot too, which can be a bad thing. So we got the hairline kind of comes up and down, so we do like an up and then down, just to kind of get the rough lines in. Again, gonna look weird until I get this right. It's okay though. Oh man. So I'm just looking at the general hairline too to see if I'm cutting too steep of a line or what's going on with it. Like I said, these previous attempts I just kind of went in at it. Hey, Narlos, what's going on, my man? Nice to hear from you. Thanks for dropping into the chat, my man. Hope you're doing well. Things are going decent. Things are going decent. I've been looking at different gaming computers, so I definitely want to get back in on the game, especially since they're adding some movement back in. It sounds like things have been a little bit better over on the game we both love. This is for a story I'm working on for my kids. Well, not for my kids, but about like these fictitious versions of my kids that discover some magical abilities through the use of marbles, actually. So it's kind of fun. I really appreciate you being here, buddy. Hope everything's well with you, man. I'm good taking a break from COD and addicted to Rust now. Yeah, I hear that is a thing that does happen, man. Thanks, brother. Appreciate that. So, like I said, these are some previous attempts that I made. Just fiddling around it. Each one looks a little bit different from what it should, and so like I'm just going back to some basics and trying to get it right. And we're just gonna keep doing this until I get it right. Like it's just gonna be one of those things, fail to succeed. I mean, it's the same thing with anything, right? Like when you're gaming, when you're doing whatever, you just kind of keep coming at something until you learn what you needed to learn. And that's what it is right now. This right now looks like a little bit of like a clown show, which is, it's okay, we'll get there. We will get there. That I can promise. But so our ears don't extend above the center eye line, so we need to kind of mark that out. Dude, I found some funk music on Epidemic Sound. I was super happy about that because like I've been very dissatisfied with like the level of music on Epidemic Sound, and it's a service I pay for. That goes below the nose line, so this is too short. See how the nose line's right there, so I'm gonna come down. It's gotta be like a little bit of the lip line, so kind of in there somewhere. We'll adjust later as we need to. And this needs to be center eye line. So if I go, yeah, see, so this, if I'm taking that measure, is too high. So we need to get this down here and then cut that off right there. Like I said, trying to get a little bit better at taking these measurements, because eventually it should add up to a person that we can recognize. But right now it's just a baby. And also not to mention the fact that, again, portraiture is not my super strong suit, so I'm really trying to get these whimsical kind of portraits made out of my weakest attribute in art. Oof, do I have any more coffee though? No. Sad day. It's okay though. So, coming off that center eye line, we need to get this ear out as well, and we're going to do the same thing. Just kind of look at it, make sure that measurement's semi-accurate. Looks like it is, so we will kind of extend our eye line guide out a little bit. And this ear starts like right at the kind of like bag of the eye is. And it feels like, because his head's slightly more turned, there's more ear exposure, and it is, as you can see, like the profile of the head just slightly cuts off his ear here. And then we have an almost fully exposed ear over here. And it definitely shows more of the form and shape of the ear, so. Still looking pretty alien-esque to me, but that's okay. Let's keep trying to sketch these notations in as we see them. I'm not gonna lie, this music is much better than it was before, so I'm super excited about this, dude. This is dope. Alright, so we're kind of blocked in the hair there. We're not going to over focus on that right now. We're going to get a few more lines in here. We've got these, like, we got this guy right here. We got a thin piece of center hair right here. A piece that kind of comes up and off like that. And then another intersection right here. So I want to make sure I get these kind of general block-ins. Just so I have them, just so I can, like, re-reference them when I'm actually doing the hair. When I'm actually like doing full color hair, because like I said, I'm gonna do this one I'm gonna come at it in black and white. Everything else I just came at it full color. It's like, fuck it, I'm just gonna do this. And like, some things worked really well, some things did not work really well. Again, a rough approximation of my son here. This is Kyle, my middle son. My oldest son, Mason, I've made some loose sketches on my phone. I'll probably try and share those across social media as well. I think on my Art of the Sean page I did. So I'll probably bring them over to Artifact as well. Art of the Sean is what I used to go under when I was making art with my stories and stuff like that, but I've just kind of changed it to the Artifact Gaming and Art because I want to be able to do both of those things. And every day, man, every day we'd just be trying to improve over here. Okay, so you can see there's this indentation that we don't have noted yet, so we're gonna try and kind of note it and pay attention to at least a similar relationship. So you can see that that indentation actually cuts into that center line. So this is what a technique some people call shadow mapping, those types of things. So yeah, no. Yo, Narles, I do appreciate your support. You just dropping in the chat like that, dog. That is very, very sweet, very kind of you. Appreciate that very much. So now we're going to get this neck relationship to the curvature of the jaw. So I need to make sure that this indents a little bit here, comes down at an angle. I'm going to kind of cut away a little bit here. And then this comes over like so, and then we don't have much length between here and there, so it's like literally like somewhere in there. And then as we come along the jawline, here, where his chin kind of comes up into the part of his face that creates the grimace, so to speak. Which this curvature needs to be higher, it needs to be up here. Then we've got that right there. This is like right here-ish. So we're gonna adjust that out just a little bit to so like that. And obviously his neckline doesn't go down that far, it just kind of comes right here. And then is cut off by a shirt line that just kind of goes right there. Okay, so we have a very... I feel like this is a good structural start. You know what I mean? So that's great. I love that. It's feeling close to right. My main areas of concern are getting his lips and his mouth structure right to make sure that goes well. And then really where these shadow zones are, like where his temples come in, making sure that these different highlight zones, and then like where his brow is, like where we get this shadow across the nose and then his nose emerges, making sure that works. Getting rid of this bulb line right here so that we can keep that, and then maybe noting that the light emerges right there. So hopefully in my brain, like when I come to this later, this portion of it, after I've done a little bit of work in painting, I'll be able to remember these notes. It's, like I said, it's starting to feel like it's coming in. Too many lines, of course, makes a person look old. So we have to be very mindful of that as far as like actual fine lines are concerned. The more lines you add to a face, the older somebody looks in general. So if this curl's here, and his nose isn't quite so bulbous, like his nose kind of has that going on, so. And then I'm just going to do some light shadow mapping. But I'm not going to fully do I don't know, it feels good. It feels right. So might not be exact. Again, like I said, we're going to keep going till we fail. Fail up, as they say, I guess. Like, but I know when they say fail up, what they mean is like it's a workplace reference for like bad management, that type of stuff. But what I'm talking about is just like in art, in life, right? In life in general, you fail until you stop failing, until you get a little bit better, and each time you learn from each one of these lessons. So I have had progressive lessons in the last 3 times I made this attempt. You know, like, okay, well, I might have the mouth structure right, but this looks a little rough, like what's going on here. Okay, I might have the mouth structure wrong, but I'm liking the way the shading goes in this one, but the eyes are off and everything else is goofy and the structural relationships don't look right. Kind of looks like Gollum in a way. And then this one looks like a kid, but it ain't my kid. That ain't my kid. So hopefully each time we're getting closer and closer and arriving closer at that thing. And I don't usually go for photoreal portraits, but I wanted to have like some character sheets, some basic building blocks in place for this one. Come this way, so we'll do that. I am excited to have at least a decent start, though. This is nice. Like, I'm not gonna say it's perfect, but it's feeling all right so far. Trust me, we're gonna fuck it up though. Okay, and then I'm just gonna put an X here to kind of remind me that this zone and that zone is gonna have like shadows. Might not be completely blacked out, it might fade, but So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, okay. It's again that turn of form that's throwing me off a little bit. And then we got like a gum line and like possibly a tooth growth here, and then this all comes into black. You can see the lip line kind of comes down. And kind of abruptly stops right where his tooth line ends on this side. Almost, or at least it looks like that. If I go back to the color image, is that the truth? Yeah, it's almost like the lip just like shortens here. I'm guessing again because of the The other thing I noticed in this picture too, which is really throwing me off, is that he really doesn't have very much in the way of eyebrows. Like he doesn't have any darkening on the eyebrows at all. So that's interesting. So I want to pay special attention to the eye shape here, so I'm just going to look over it. You have that almond curve, and then it kind of comes right here. Is that right? Am I just fooling myself here? Let's get rid of these proportion lines right here. Here. See, like right there, this is going to come to more of a point. And I know that doesn't seem like it's going to make a difference, but it will. Everything in portraiture really does have an effect. And we've got like a freckle here, and a freckle here, and a freckle here, and there. So like 4 major freckles. He probably has one here too. So 5 like major ones that I need to note on this. Okay. And then I need to make sure I'm trying to do the same thing over here. And for me, it's very easy, extremely easy to delude myself on how well I'm doing on a photo. Like, super easy to tell myself, oh yeah, that's going to be good enough, or that's going to look good. Still looking like an old man because of all the line work that we have on it. But as close as I'm getting to it, I also feel like there's a little too much tooth length. Like maybe the teeth are too tall? So far, it looks like he's got spectacles because of that indent. I think we can get rid of these eye lines that go down. So one of the things they say that you can do for shadow mapping, which is what I'm trying to do right now, is I kind of contour. Yo, Massive Gaming, what's going on, man? Thanks for dropping into the chat. How you been, man? How you been? It's good to know some guys drop in still. I am working on a story for like a story I wrote. I'm in the middle of writing, and I was trying to get some portraiture done because I'm not really good at it. But I want some really cool, whimsical paintings in this story. It's kind of like a fantasy slash like modern times fantasy kids thing. I'm doing really well. I'm looking at getting a new gaming computer. I want to honestly, one of the reasons I want a new gaming computer, and this is stupid as fuck, is I still want to play COD, right? I just really want that Spawn skin. You know the one. You know the one. I'm a long-time Spawn fan, so yeah. But I'm looking at like a 4080. Hopefully, probably a pre-built. I may try to go the builder route and just do it on my credit card or through a firm. I haven't decided just quite yet. But anyway, this is my son Kyle when he was younger, and so I'm using him as a template for one of my characters. And I'll be using all three of my sons as templates for these characters. This was a story that kind of got created during a time when I was raising my boys, and I haven't had a chance to really get into it too much. So now I'm trying to get to this and the fantasy story that I was telling with my best friend Logan as well. So yeah, I think it's good, man. Things are really good. I appreciate you dropping. I appreciate the like on the stream too. Guys, once again, thanks again for joining me here at Artifact Gaming Art. You just reminded me. If you can, share that out. If not, no worries, no worries. Thank you so much for coming to the chat. Try and use that dulcet, sexy voice I got going on. Music stopped, which means that we're in that playlist, right? That was so I just used the Drift Funk playlist on Epidemic Sound. Highly recommend if you don't have it, just grab a couple of those tracks for your videos, so on and so forth. Let's do the fantasy stuff. Now, I know I added some of the wrong things here. Let's see. I'm going to get rid of this one. And then, yeah, here we go. This is more of that fantasy artwork type thing, so for some ambient music, that type of thing. But yeah, no, this is coming along. Actually, this is probably my best interpretation yet. Check this out. This is my first attempt. So it's alright. This is my second attempt, and I stopped in the middle of it because I was like, this isn't him either. This is not my son. And this is my third attempt, and it just isn't hitting. He looks like some sort of Southern Iowa kid or something. I don't know. Like just doesn't look like my genetics. So I was like, I'm gonna try again, but this time we're gonna try and be really fucking detail oriented on the line drawing and see if that is gonna get us to where we need to be on this. You know, you always keep going until you get it right. So that's what I've been doing. I've just been practicing my fails, trying to make it not perfect because it doesn't need to be photo real, but like I want a sense of, like I said before, a sense of whimsy. That's what I'm going for here. And then obviously, as his head on this side of his head is slightly turned more, so I need more of this kind of, what do they call it, 4 o'clock shadow when it's shaving. I need more of that line work here. Definitely trying not to fuck this up. At least not as bad as I did before. Now I realize that I'm gonna have to kind of blend the jawline of this kid because it kind of is not quite as strong as I have it originally drawn. I'm just trying to be extra careful. I really don't want to blow this, you know what I mean? And I probably will, and I'll get through that though. Still feel like that ear line is a little too high. Cut that off right there. Okay, let's get rid of some of these reference lines over here. And he does have eyebrows, but they just kind of feather. Like, they're really not highly in there. It's more just the indication of light with this kid. Anything else? We're getting there. We're getting there. We're figuring this out. It's taking a bit. So this... I feel like this eye is slightly too squinty. I'm going to flip the image in a second because I feel like we're getting to a point where I'm getting blind. looks like either an old man or a soulless demon child. Totally happy with that right now because that's just the way the line works looking, but it's a lot better than the prior attempts, so I'm okay there. It's good for now. Let's see what we do. I'm going to map out the ear structures here. For those of you who are just joining me here, thank you very much. Appreciate you. Artifact Gaming and Art. Go ahead and hit that like button, hit that follow button. Of course, please share this out if you can. It's a big, great way that you can help the stream. If you hit that heart react, you are definitely helping me to grow, and I appreciate that. This is for a story called Marbles, which is a story I will be continuing to write and continuing to draw for a little while. Okay, I'm going to give him that definition on the chin there, and then I'm just going to kind of lightly sketch it here, but not over the top. So his center irises actually are pretty much 100% visible. What am I missing? I'm going to flip the image. Image. Edit. Transform. Flip horizontal. So his two stops here, and it doesn't stop here. That's one thing that we can adjust really quick. So like when you flip an image like this, it gives you the opportunity to really kind of see where you're maybe not hitting your best marks. And I'm probably missing something big because I'm still art blinded to what I'm doing, but I'm trying to, by flipping this, I'm trying to get a better comparative model of what I'm doing so that I can try to make this a great drawing. Whew, getting hungry. Alright, guys, I'm gonna hit that be right back button. Hold on here. Be right back. I need a little something to eat, a little something to kind of walk away from this for just a second. I think I see some things that I could be working on that will help with the overall head shape. I think we need to work in this area right here, as it doesn't represent very well. And then, I don't know, I'll take a couple more looks. We're getting closer. I don't know if this is it, but we're getting closer. Maybe some mouth shape stuff too. I'm back. Sorry. Woo. It is what it is. Sorry about that. So what do we got going here? Is the lip? I think the lip is too big. Maybe the mouth might be still too big. His lower lip needs to be thinner. The ear needs a little bit of work on the shape because I feel like it comes in a little bit more, especially on that left side. The hairline shape, a little bit. Comes away from the head a little bit more on the left side where I've got that circled. Sorry, I've got this zucchini and turkey lasagna that I just made. And it is pretty baller. If you haven't made zucchini turkey lasagna yet, especially with this truffle cheese that my girl got, she has this truffle Parmesan cheese to drop on top, and a little bit of hot sauce. Chef's kiss, baby. Chef's kiss. Really, really good. All right, there's that. Let's go ahead and go to the cam only. Just for a second, I'm going to go to the cam only. I wanted to take a look and acknowledge everybody who's come onto the stream, said hi or whatever. Let's move over there. Massive Gaming, of course, thank you so much. Of course, Narlos, thank you so much as well. Appreciate you both. You guys, don't forget to hit that like button and that share button if you could. It's two great ways that you can help. We're going to get back to it here. Feel like we have some slight head shape issues to deal with too now that I'm taking a look at some things. So, get my stylus out here. I almost grabbed a pen off the desk. Oof. Uh-oh. I just put food on my screen, guys. Hold on. That's the drawback with eating on screen, is like you have to make sure you got clean hands, especially when you got a drawing tablet like this one. All right, there we go. We're good. We're good. It's fine. It's fine. All right. So I can see in here and down here right now that we have a little bit of a different like kind of head shape thing going on. So what I want to do is I want to bring this out because this comes out like so, and I've got mine kind of indented in. So we come here. So, and it's a little bit further. Yeah, it's a little bit out. So, then this line kind of indents in. So we have some ear shape going on there. And then mouth-wise, I think that like we need to catch a little something right here. So like it's almost too. It's a little bit better. I still feel like we're... Oh, that's better, isn't it? I think it is. Now we need to get that ear line. Get rid of this Goopy Dumbo thing going on here where it comes back out. Just get rid of that in there. Okay. So we can get rid of the circle. Because we kind of addressed how it's hanging over the head. I'm going to look at it again, just kind of get a general. Okay. Okay, and I guess we're going to go ahead and do an edit. And we're going to transform this again and flip it horizontal. So you can already see, too, like if I draw... The head shape is, well, maybe not bigger, but like just in a different here. Let's go ahead and flip this. Edit. Transform. So if I bring this behind, we can see there's definitely some inaccuracies, even based off of like some of the measurements I took. And if we match the eye lines, or the eyes as close as we can, we can see how inaccurate we really are. Like, this is all freehanding. His head's a little too long, his chin line's too long. Like, there's definitely some things. We match the point of his ears and the eyes, though, which is where we were trying to be the most accurate. We're in there, we're just not quite as in there as we wanted to be. Like, I almost feel like if we just shrank this guy down just a tiny bit, like so. This is just me trying to get some better comparisons here. Look how big his head is after just freehanding that, though. Also, let's get rid of this shit. I don't know what I did over here, but I feel like we almost gave him too much eye space. I feel like we need to drop his forehead down just a little bit after taking some more comparative measures. Let's see if we just fucked that up more. I mean, like I said, I'm not looking for exact measurements. If we match one eyeball up, we still have like quite a bit of far-reaching distance, but like, bro. That jawline. I don't get it, dude. Okay, so let's measure from shadow note to shadow note. Okay, so the forehead's a little bit more proportional. If I center the chin, we still have like a flare out right here. So we're gonna get rid of the flare out. Let's just... Again, it doesn't have to match exactly perfectly. I wish his eye line matched a little bit more. Like, that's pretty good for free-handed though. I'm just gonna do it. This is probably it. This is where I really fuck up the entire drawing. It's more on center. It feels like the eyes are still just a little bit too small, especially on the left eye. This is so risky because, like, I feel like one wrong move. And this can all just turn into dog shit very quickly. So the hairline is good as far as the top goes, but as far as the bottom goes, it just doesn't come down far enough. I mean, most of these are lining up close, but just not quite where we want them to be. It's almost like the tilt of the head is slightly off. So almost like just come down a little bit. Okay, let's try that. Kind of get some approximation there. Again, just roughly matching up like the eyes. So the eyes and nose are close. This eye right here is a little off. Like it could just set in like right there, so slightly this way, slightly in and down. Pretty close. Our mouth is still slightly off. It feels like it needs to tilt. Teeth are good, but the lips are not good. Like, too much room. So I feel like we need to kind of go here. Just to see what that looks like. Like I said, I could just be really screwing this up, but I'm just trying to, off of my freehand, get the features to kind of line up a little bit better. Let's take a look at that hairline again. So we got Okay. Eyes, nose, and mouth are close. I'll keep that. I feel like the tilt of the head is off, but I'm gonna just kind of try and adjust that out. Looks like it's almost like it's just slightly tilted or slanted. Ear shape on the left is good, but I almost feel like we go here. God, we are in the neighborhood, that's for sure. So close. So the curvature of the lip. That is really close. Okay, and then we just need to bring that. There and there. And then right there. I'm probably overworking this poor kid's head too much now. Ears need to drop, ears need to go slightly up. And again, I know I could adjust this, and I have already adjusted in the past, but I really am trying to get as much of this right without, like, tracing. I'm just using this for comparison. Like, how close are we to the features? Okay, how close are we now? it right in there. That's very, 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 very close. But I'm guessing there's some inherent things that I'm just not doing. God, this is so fucking hard. Alright, so now we said we're going to do a value scale, so that's what we're going to do. I'm going to pick some of the darkest shadows on his thing here and make sure it's over completely desaturated. We're going to get into the paintbrush. I'm just going to go for it, man. It's probably not going to be the way that I want it to be, but you know what? At some point, you just kind of have to say, let's go for it. Let's see how this works. See how close we can get. So that's what we're going to do. I also have to work at some point here. So in the next 15 minutes, I'm going to have to take a break. So I just want to get this underpaint in. You can see I'm painting underneath the layer. Oh, that thing makes things much different, doesn't it? So for the backfill on this, I should have turned the flow rate up to 100%. Transfer is on the brush too, which means that it will... Actually, is transfer on the brush? Yeah, it is. Okay. And I could have... I'm just going to color right outside the lines here. And you'll notice I'm not really zooming in yet. The reason I'm not zooming in yet is because if you do, you can really get caught up in the details, and I want to get the global value scale correct. So that was from the darkest kind of shadow area. I just kind of wanted to get the darkest shadow in there first, and then I'm going to start bringing in light as best I can. But before I do that, I really do think I am going to do one last line work adjustment as well. And that's going to be over here on Kyle's nose. Let's get that pencil out again. I want to make sure that the... And then where that line is, this line doesn't actually exist. There's like a shadow line up here. That goes down in. And so okay. Now that we're this far zoomed in, I'm gonna try not to zoom any further. And we're gonna go back to I'm gonna lock this layer for right now, and then I'm gonna go ahead and continue to cut away at the kind of overlaps that we've got right here. Again, this is not going to be a perfect one-to-one representation of my son, but I'm trying to get it to look like it is my son. The other attempts I did were just too sloppy, too loose, super undisciplined. I didn't like the way they were going. Like, I liked some of the ideas behind them, but like this was like probably the most finished one I did. And then this was like one where I stopped, but I liked the coloring technique I was using. It was just a little loose still, hadn't really tightened up. And this one had its own issues that I started to really reconcile. I was like, man, there's no way this is going to come out looking right unless I actually work really fucking hard at it. So I want to make sure that I'm giving this my all. Very clearly, I'm going to need to come in with a lot of work here. So we're definitely going to go here. And I just want to kind of get a general idea about the brightest bright. That's what that's going to be. And everything else is going to fall into this. Oh, no. So there's that. That's going to be our kind of value. So I'm just really looking at the desaturated value scales right now. Our brightest brights are kind of right here or right here, I feel. So like that's as high as the saturation, the brightness goes, with the exception of maybe like the pupils. So that's kind of what I have to keep in mind. So I'm gonna make a whole new palette layer. I have this old palette layer that I was using for skin tones and such. And I'm gonna go ahead and my brightest bright is gonna be this. And then my darkest dark is gonna be that. And then I have all of this middle ground that I've got to work on top of that. For instance, like right here, which is almost value scaled to the same as the background. And then I'm just going to come in with a rough brush real quick and start trying to work in but I'm not even on the right layer, which is good because I wasn't like the way that was going anyway. So I'm just gonna go ahead, boop. All right. Gonna go ahead and come over here. We're gonna do a transparency lock so that nothing I do will go over kind of the areas. Get a little messy in here for a little while. I know, it looks a mess right now, chat. I'm going to stay that way for a little while. To try to get things kind of straightened out here. Hello? Are you a murderer? Don't murder me. Maybe just so you know, I'm streaming. Alright guys, I'm going to call it there. I know it doesn't look like much, it looks like a whole bunch of face paint, but hopefully we get to the next bit pretty relatively soon here. I'm going to try and restream tomorrow as well. Thanks for everybody who dropped in. Narlos Massive Gaming, everybody, much love. Have a good one.